Chapter 1. Genealogical Structure, the Kinship System. A. Kinship. Nature and extent of the Batak's knowledge of their descent. The historical knowledge that the Batak have of their descent goes far back into their past. This applies to individuals as well as to groups. Anyone whose forefather was not snatched from the bond of his kinship group by being kidnapped, taken to slavery because of a debt, or because he fled following an offense during the turbulent speedy time that preceded the coming of the Dutch government, and who knows something of the facts, can enumerate without fault 6, 8, or even 10 or more generations of the ascending line of his adnets. Within the narrower kinship group, such who belonging to one group, Saupu coming from one ancestor, everyone knows precisely the relationship of its members. The mutual connection of their lineages is generally well known to all, though the particularities may not be known to everyone. No man has any difficulty in stating the position in the marga or marga branch of the lineage to which he belongs. Each child knows to which marga he belongs, that his mother came from a different marga, that his sister will go to a different marga again, or her marriage. A man's marga probably ascends from 15 to 20 generations, that is, to at least 4 centuries ago. The meeting point of a man's marga with his companion marga in one tribal group lies some generations earlier, and then the connections go further back still to the earliest known times until they are lost in legend. The knowledge regarding these genealogical relationships is not, however, everywhere equally extensive or well preserved. If people have been concentrated in one region and have always lived there together, and if at the same time the parts of the marga have not spread everywhere over the region, but have continued to associate with each other and have consequently been in regular communication, there is usually in existence a sound knowledge regarding the connections in the genealogical tree of the marga rising and including the ancestor who first occupied the region. The mutual relationships between the marga and their lineages is then known to all and people who diverge in little more than in points or precedence or account of earlier birth. Thus, in the Sumber moiety, see genealogy P10. Generally speaking, less difference of opinion and less divergence in the facts is to be found than in the Lotung moiety, which has occupied larger and more widely dispersed areas. Within the great complex of Tuan Sorba di Banua, CP11, the classification of the tribal groups is not only clearly established, but a number of historical details are also known about them. However, of all the groups that belong to it, Silai Sabunga is the least in the position to boast that the facts relating to the kinship relation between its divisions are indisputable, since, unlike its brethren, the divisions of this group have not been confined to a single ancestral area comprising them all, but have dispersed over the whole of North Tapanuli. In former times, when small groups split off from a marga and went a long way off in order to begin a new life and to found new lineages, the knowledge of the relationship with those who remain behind in the ancestral area and could be lost in the ensuing centuries of isolation and precarious existence. Thus Rome, was made for legend. The most noteworthy example of the growth of such a legend is to be found in Padang Lawas. For a century or two after the departure of the Hindus, who built the temples, the remains of which are to be seen here and there today, the site of Padang Lawas was occupied by Hasibuan CP 15 and the north by Harap in Segal CPP 8 and 9. Now in the 80s of the last century, thus immediately following the breaking of the centuries-long isolation in which they had lived, the Hasibuans served up a story to the controller district officer Neumann of the descent from one of the distinguished families in the retinue of Alexander the Great. They probably borrowed this story from Mandailing. They believe in it no longer. In 1929, under the leadership of the Luas chiefs, they participated with zest in the Great Marga Festival of Huta Galong, at which, for the first time in history, the entire Huta Galong Marga assembled in the Bonani Peninsula, the small territory of its origin in the middle of the Selindung Valley, a gathering that made out of the other Batak views. Harahap, on the other hand, stood by a legendary cyclops, Paragmata Sapiak, who, according to them, went to Padang Bolak from somewhere in Toba. In Sipirok, however, people are better informed about their connection with their land of origin, Muara, and W.M. Huta Galung's Pustaha Tangok to Tarombo ni Halak Batak, tales of an emigration from Muara first to Lobus Siregar, now abandoned in Humbang afterward to Sibatang Kayu, from which place Sipiro and Padang Bolak were occupied. However, the gradual decrease of precise knowledge regarding origin and descent does not necessarily lead to an irreparable loss of the historical links with the ancestral land. If people on both sides retell the communal tales about events of old that have been preserved, then the genealogical connections that were missing or had become doubtful are frequently made clear again. There were also the token of recognition, articles given to the immigrating group, along with good wishes and provisions by those who were staying behind. These articles were to be preserved and used as recognition tokens in the event of the descendants of either side encountering each other later on. To give an example, the lineage of the courier chiefs of Sipirok is the custodian of some spears, of which the seats have remained in the land of origin Muara. And again, one of the lineages of the Marga Samosir CP7 in East Bahai, Chat 11, has in its possession, among other things, half a bit necklace that is said to fit onto the other half, which is still to be found in the land of origin, Samosir, and so on. It is, however, remarkable that in a group of margas such as, for example, those of the Tambatua in northeast Samosir, CPP 1011, so much confusion can sometimes prevail regarding the facts of the mutual connection of the divisions that have always continued to live together, even though they have spread over the various areas of northeast Samosir. The people themselves attribute this to the fact that no Datu class, Datu priest, medicine man in one, has developed among them. Elsewhere it is said that the Datu have contributed much to the preservation of historical stories and the knowledge of the relationships within the Marga and tribal groups. In the Silai Sabungan group of Northeast Samosir, the keeper of all of such knowledge was the Bogu Silaon, the representative of the oldest branch of the oldest indwelling marga who directed the territory's communal sacrifices, as well as the collection of the contributions to them and the division up to the sacrificial animal, all according to the marga branches that inhabited the territory. Each of these marga branches was Sada Somba, one unit for worship, Sada Ragaga having one and the same sacred right as the dwelling of the ancestor, Sada Vergouwen, one collecting unit for the contributions to the offering ceremonies of the community, Sada Jabbar, the one unit entitled to a portion of the sacrificial animal. As will become evident, this was everywhere the case in pagan times. Naturally, only a few Batak have a knowledge of the entire social structure of their society. In the Pidari time, the facts could not be obtained because of the dangers and difficulties of traveling through the whole country, where one was not safe outside one's own ancestral area. At even the present time it is difficult in the country, with so many out-of-the-way places, to get to know more than the main genealogical outlines. In these circumstances, therefore, one should have in one should have sincere appreciation for the care and attention to the assistant demand Batak Subject Officer W.M. Hutagalung have given to his book on the genealogy of the whole Batak people. He gives the lineage list of his tribal group and mark in considerable detail the regions to which the descendants of the ancestors mentioned in the genealogical tree were are always enumerated, and there are numerous incidents that are important for the history of the tribal groups and marga. The ordinary Batak have a mark particularly to mark tutuk to trace the family links partuturan when he meets another Batak to establish whether one is the kinsman of the other, whether they have later become friends by some marriage, and how they should address each other as a consequence. These artificial relationships of kinship or affinity provide the Batak with a ready motive for mutual demonstrations of cordiality. They can also be profitable sometimes. The interest that every Batak feels in the ancestry of his people expressed in the following umpama maxim. Tintip sanggak bain huru-huruan jolo sinukun marga asa binoto partuturan. To make a baggage, you must first cut the king. A man must first inquire about the marga so that he may learn what the mutual kinship condition is. And there is nobody who gives more thought to genealogical lists of Matthew chapter 1 or to the relationships of the tribes in the Old Testament than the Christian Batak.